Hello, this is Antonella Poce, and in this presentation I'm going to give you some hints related to multisensory tools and other aids for people with autism. It is known that ASD people have certain problems in integrating different senses at the same time to get reality. So this absolutely basic problem should be tackled with a certain care. So before the choice of multisensory tools, we need to bear in mind that those affected by ASD have unexpected responses to incoming sensory information from the environment where they are set. The key to solve this kind of problem is to provide different tools and methods that stimulate various sensory channels in order to facilitate the individual response, feedback of each person involved in the program. So we need to be very careful and to support ASD people with multisensory tools or other kind of aids that could always keep them quiet and in a situation where they trust the other supporting educators. So we should provide the situation with visual aids and wayfinding, with sensory backpacks, for instance, with methodologies for multisensory engagement and stimulation. So when we think of visual aids and wayfinding, sometimes we don't take into consideration that this kind of signs can be really effective and supportive. So if we use normal visual communication tools that can place the user within the environment, this can be very helpful. And daily programs or task analysis realized with pictures and symbols is absolutely, as I was saying, fundamental in building educational projects for ASD people. Sensory backpacks, for instance, contain various set of tools that prove to be useful for ASD people during a museum visit. Another possible solution that proved to be very effective is the use of object-based learning methodologies. What is object-based learning? It's an educational methodology that involves the integration of museum objects. They can be documents, artworks, materials into the learning setting. So doing, the different kind of senses are stimulated also at different times with a series of specific questions so that the user slowly enters the situation and slowly understands how the different senses can match a specific objective. Really connected to the object-based learning methodology is the tinkering methodology. Tinkering is an educational methodology based on the experimentation and creative exploration of the objects, of of different materials in order to find solution to a problem. It was first used at the Exploratorium in San Francisco, following a new way of learning science and mathematics, devised by the MIT in Boston. And this idea of learning creatively with very different everyday materials proved to be very, very effective. So, through the exploration of objects, participants have the opportunity to explore and interject the properties of space and form in a bodily and multisensory experience. And this, as you might understand, is very consistent with the difficulties that ASD people might experience over a museum visit. The thing that they are directly engaged, involved, and they can use their creativity is essential within this methodology. As an example of a successful tinkering experience, we would like to introduce you the Industrial Museum experience in tinkering. The Industrial Museum is a museum based in Ghent, where people can experiment with a lot of different materials without boundaries of a specific action or out to, but only using creativity. ASD people had the opportunity to work, and the different visits proved to be really effective. In the Industrial Museum, the very interesting thing was that there's a specific care before the visit, during the visit, and after the visit. Before the visit, educators could interact with ASD users, but also with their educators in order to understand them better, and to support them through the activity that they could experience over the visit. And also after the visit, museum educators and staff could get a feedback both from the educators and from ASD people to understand what was the effect, the impact of the experience they had within the museum through tinkering activities. So again, you can deepen on these subjects. Again, lots of literature is available related to object-based learning and tinkering for ASD people. And I really support the idea of working with this kind of resources before the visit to plan your own program. Thank you.